All right, we're rolling. This is Stefan with Benevolent Brand. I'm here with Matt Zavala.
Zavala. Very good.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you just give us a little bit of background about yourself?
All right. I grew up in Southern California. At a very young age, I decided I wanted to be an FBI agent. And so I thought through my life as I grew up, went to high school and college, how was I going to set myself up so that I'd be as successful as possible in applying to the FBI and becoming a special agent. And after college, I went to the military, spent 6 years in the Navy. And then a couple years after 9/11, I got out of the Navy, applied to the FBI, got into the FBI as a special agent, and just retired after doing 22 years with the FBI.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
That's a pretty unique position. What would you say is the favorite part about what you did, whether in the military, FBI, all the above?
I would say one thing that I did not anticipate when I was much younger is the level of responsibility and the opportunities I would have to do things that were impactful to people's lives. One of the reasons I wanted to be an FBI agent at a young age is because I knew I didn't want to just spend a career for myself. And in the military, I was all over the world, literally all over the world with the Navy. And then with the FBI, I've been able to get involved in whether investigations or other aspects of, say, technologies we use in investigations to have a significant impact in advancing cases or affecting people's lives in a positive way. And to be able to have that sort of impact is just, it's incredible, but again, something I couldn't have appreciated at a young age.
What's a typical day in the life of an FBI agent?
So that's a common question,
Yeah.
And the answer always is there is no typical day.
Yeah.
Some days you may go into work and you spend your entire day doing, administrative stuff. You have to document everything you do. You have to justify everything you do. And then the next day, you're up at 3 a.m. and you have an arrest and you have to arrest somebody and then you got to take them to court. Another day you may come in expecting to do one thing and then some incident happens and now you're running around, doing something in response to that. So there really is no typical day. You have to be flexible and you have to be willing to, put up with a variety of different environments that you may not have been expecting that day.
And we've talked earlier, I know you have a background in your faith.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say you incorporate that, especially in what you do and all the demands that it has?
Yeah, so I was not a Christian when I was younger. I was not a Christian when I joined the FBI, but I became a Christian over a decade ago, and it has significantly impacted me in the way I interact with people. The second half of my career in the FBI, most of it has been spent in leadership or management roles. And the way I relate to being a leader is very different as a Christian than it was before I was a Christian. And what I mean by that is I value the individual in a way that I didn't before. Instead of seeing them just as an employee, I saw them as a whole person. And so my approach to them was more holistic, right? Like what's going on in their lives? How's that impacting their ability to get work accomplished? What can I do to help things with them or in their lives? And I would say that's probably the biggest impact my faith has had in being an FBI agent or being in a position of leadership.
And I remember you telling me you were in taking a seminary class.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's great. I love it. I just started taking classes at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary. And we're focused on, the class I'm taking now is focused on the Old Testament, which I love. And it's just amazing to me, no matter how many times I've read a book in the Bible, I go back through it and I get new insights, or I learn something new, or I get a new reflection of how this is reflective of Jesus in some way that I just didn't appreciate before. I enjoy it very much.
Thank you for sharing. I'm also here with my younger brother, Antonio. He was in the first video with us. He's here if you got any questions.
Yes, I do. Okay. Is this a good distance? All right. So, considering that you were in the FBI, you did years of service, has there been like anything, like a situation that happened where you kind of have to like compromise your values or like your faith for like the greater good?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think, and not just being an FBI agent, I would imagine there's ample opportunities for anybody to do that, right? To compromise their values, or to compromise, especially if you're a Christian, to compromise your Christian values, whether it's for the greater good or because you think that the end result can only be accomplished if you do so, and the end result you believe is a good thing. So you convince yourself that it's worthwhile in the short term to compromise. I think that I've been very blessed in that I've been able to hold firm to what I thought was right, and did not face negativity as a consequence of that. It's the FBI has a lot of good things, but it's a big organization with people, and I know there are people who have stood firm with their convictions and have suffered for it. So it does happen, but I thankfully just did not have to face that.
All right, I'd say that's pretty important to talk about, especially with big organizations like that.
Absolutely.
Because the U.S. has kind of done a lot of messed up things, but it was in the name of like democracy.
Yeah, I mean, I think being a Christian and reflecting on, one of the things I like about the Old Testament is it really gives you, if you pay attention, insight to what people are like, right? And you see patterns of behavior that repeat themselves over and over again. And so it's easy to say as a Christian, I think, well, we're all sinners, and sort of blow past that without really appreciating what that means. But we all have within us a capability to do great harm, even when we believe we're doing good. And so if you don't anchor your value system in something that transcends, a human good or a human value, then I think it's very easy to convince yourself that causing harm is actually a good thing. But I think being a Christian and holding firm to the Christian values doesn't allow you that wiggle room, so to speak. So yeah, people, they do bad things, and most times they think they're doing good things. And that's the U.S., that's countries, and you telling me before you like history. I mean, you see that, as you study history. And I think that's a good thing for us to keep in mind, that we're always susceptible to falling victim to that mindset.
All right, it's very valuable insight. I would say that's probably my only question, so I'm gonna hand the bike back over here.
Those were great questions, Antonio. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Very good.
Do you have anything else in terms of your career, what you do, that's unique and has in terms of like a unique perspective, anything that you've learned that you want to share?
Well, I say one thing I've learned is people have an amazing capacity to hurt each other. And I've seen, we call them in the FBI, call them programs, right? So, types of programs I've been involved in. I've been involved in organized crime, child pornography, drugs, violent crime, cyber crimes, and a few other things. And I just didn't have a full appreciation for.
We're back. We had a little technical difficulties. I think the camera overheated because it's over 100 degrees here in beautiful Florida. Just to summarize on your last point, you were talking before it cut out. You were just mentioning, from my understanding, just how seriously like people can do harm in a negative way in different aspects, and that just kind of was a big kind of like eye-opener for you.
Yes.
And that's why it's important to have that foundation in your faith, because people are capable of doing so much harm, but we're also capable of doing so much good.
Absolutely.
Do you have, in terms of your just life as an FBI agent, I'm sure there's a lot you do that's like classified, things that you can't necessarily like share. What is that like?
I guess it can make it challenging to, I won't say have relationships with people, but there's parts of your life that you just can't share with people and there's parts of your life you can't even share with the people closest to you. Like there are things that I know that I haven't shared with my own wife. I haven't shared with anybody, because I can't, or there's maybe details that I can't share with anybody. And not that it's like hard to live my life because of that, but it's a constant reminder of like, there's just some things that are off limits. And for a variety of reasons, like, yeah, it's classified, but the reason things are classified is because there's a belief that, the information getting out to the public could cause harm, to the government or its operations. And so you have to sort of keep that in mind. That being said, there are a lot of things that the FBI does that I've done that I could talk about. So it's not like everything I've done is a secret, just certain aspects of it.